Hello and welcome to the Daily News Simplified, the why, what, and how of newspaper reading. Today we will discuss the Delhi edition of the Hindu newspaper dated 30th May 2018. So let's start. Now there is an article on page number 3 which reads NGT issues notices on plea to halt road through Corbett. So this article is in news because NGT has issued notices to Ministry of Environment Forest, National Tiger Conservation Authority, and National Board for Wildlife. The NGT has issued notices based on a plea which seeks to get a stay on the construction of a link road between Kotadwar and Ramnagar. Now, this topic will fall under the General Studies Paper 1 under the Preliminary Examination Syllabus under the topic Indian Geography. It will also fall under the General Issues on Environment Ecology and Biodiversity. Previously in the year 2013, a question was asked related to the Jim Corbett National Park. So under this topic, we'll try to understand basic facts related to the Jim Corbett National Park and also we'll try to answer this question. The Jim Corbett National Park is the oldest national park in India. It was established in 1936 and was then known as Haley National Park. It was created to protect the endangered Bengal tiger. This national park is located in the Nainital district of Uttarakhand and was named after Jim Corbett, who played a key role in its establishment. This national park was the first national park to come under the Project Tiger initiative. Now, this national park has sub-Himalayan belt geographical and ecological characteristics. This is because it is located partly along a valley between the Lesser Himalaya in the north and Shivaliks in the south. Now, the vegetation of this national park is mainly dense moist deciduous, and the main plant species is sal tree. Now, this national park protects the upper Gangetic moist deciduous forests and also the Himalayan subtropical pine forests. Now, the major river that passes through the Jim Corbett National Park is the Ramganga River, which is a tributary of Ganga. Now, this river flows through the Patli Doon Valley. So, we have learned that Jim Corbett National Park is the oldest national park. It was previously known as Haley National Park. It is located in Uttarakhand in the Nainital district. Also, it was the first national park to come under the Project Tiger. The geographical and ecological characteristics of this national park are sub-Himalayan because it is located between the Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks. Important vegetation of this national park is the dense moist deciduous forest and the important species is sal. This national park protects upper Gangetic moist deciduous forests and Himalayan subtropical pine forests. And the important river that passes through this national park is the Ramganga River, which is a tributary of Ganga, and this river Ramganga passes through the Patli Doon Valley. Now let us answer the question that was asked in the preliminary examination in the year 2013. The question read, consider the following pairs, national parks and the river flowing through the park. First is the Corbett National Park and the option given is Ganga passes through it. This option is wrong because we have just learned that the river Ramganga passes through the Corbett National Park. Second is Kaziranga National Park and Manas River. This option is also wrong because river Brahmaputra passes through the Kaziranga National Park. Remember that river Manas passes through the Manas National Park. Third is Silent Valley National Park and the river given is Kaveri. This option is also wrong because we have learned in a previous DNS that river Kunti Puja passes through the Silent Valley National Park. So in this case, first, second, third, all are wrong. So the correct answer is D, none of the above. With this, let us move on to the next article. There is an article on page number 8 which reads, A Maritime Stretch. It further reads, A more concerted and intensive engagement will serve both India and Indonesia well. So this article provides highlight of India-Indonesia relationship in the context of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Indonesia and other Southeast Asian countries. So this topic will fall under the General Studies Paper 2 of the mains examination under the International Relations. Now, Southeast Asia is an important region geographically from prelims point of view. A question was asked in 2014 and also in 2017. So after going through the article, we'll try to answer these questions. So the key points to understand here are that Indonesia under its Global Maritime Fulcrum Policy and India under its Look East Policy or Act East Policy have envisaged sharper maritime collaboration in the Southeast Asian region. So both countries are trying to collaborate in the Southeast Asian region based on their policies. For Indonesia, the policy's name is Global Maritime Fulcrum, and for India, it is the Look East or Act East policy. Now, Indonesia has offered to grant India the access to its Sabang port for the development of the port and an economic zone. Further, the Sabang port is located at the mouth of strategically important Strait of Malacca. Also, the Sabang port is only 100 nautical miles away from the southern tip of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. As we can see in the map, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and the Sabang Port's location. It is only 150 nautical miles. Now, the location of Sabang Port becomes important from prelims point of view. A similar question in 2017 was asked based on Chabahar Port in Iran. Now, the article says that the visit of Prime Minister may provide an insight into how both countries can further cooperate on important issues. They have highlighted these issues. So, India and Indonesia can cooperate on the sea lanes of communication that connect Indian Ocean to the Pacific. Through these sea lanes of communication, the major trade in the oceans are conducted. And through these sea lanes of communication, the major merchant vehicles pass. And one such sea lane of communication is through the Strait of Malacca. Secondly, India and Indonesia can cooperate on regions strategically important choke points such as Malacca Strait, Lombok, and Sumba. Now, these are called choke points because these sea lanes are very narrow and a huge amount of merchant vehicles for international trade pass through these regions. So these regions become critically important for the major countries of the world due to world trade. In this map, we can see the Strait of Malacca. Also, in the second map, we can see the Lombok and the Sumba. Further, this visit will provide insight on India's position on the territorial dispute between China and Indonesia in the Natuna Sea. Also, it will provide insight on China's aggressive postures in South China Sea. So the location of South China Sea is here in the map. This visit will also provide insights on the future comprehensive defense cooperation agreement with maritime logistical support systems. Now, under this agreement, Indonesia may provide India with the access to Indonesian naval ports in the Indian Ocean, and this will augment India's naval capabilities. So, the visit of Prime Minister of India will provide insight on how both countries could further cooperate, and these issues include the sea lanes of communication, the strategically important choke points of Malacca Straits, Lombok, and Sumba, India's position on territorial dispute between China and Indonesia, China's aggressive postures in South China Sea, and further, it will provide insights on the comprehensive defense cooperation agreement that can be signed between India and Indonesia, which will further increase India's naval capabilities. The Prime Minister's visit will also provide insights on delimitation of exclusive economic zone that is shared by India and Indonesia in the Andaman Sea. As can be seen in the map, India and Indonesia share the exclusive economic zone in this zone. Secondly, future white shipping agreement which will help India to partner Indonesia in tracking commercial cargo ships at the choke points such as Malacca Strait. Again, we can see in the map the Strait of Malacca is here. Thirdly, India's proposed inclusion in the Malacca Strait patrol programs which will augment India's existing maritime domain awareness in the region. Also, the Eyes in the Sky component of the Malacca Strait patrol program will allow India to jointly patrol the region with its maritime surveillance aircrafts. And finally, the proposed cruise tourism circuit between the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and the Sabang port. Now let us try to answer the questions asked in the previous year preliminary examination. In the year 2017, the question was asked, which of the following is geographically closest to Great Nicobar? So in the map we can see that this is the Andaman and Nicobar Island. And the geographically closest island of Indonesia is the Sumatra Island. Java is here. So the correct answer is A. There was a question in the year 2014 which read, what is the correct sequence of occurrence of the following cities in Southeast Asia as one proceeds from south to north? The name of the cities are Bangkok, Hanoi, Jakarta and Singapore. So this question can be easily done from the map. So as one moves from south to north, the first city is Jakarta, second is Singapore, third is Bangkok and fourth is Hanoi. So the correct sequence is Jakarta, Singapore, Bangkok and Hanoi. So the correct answer is C, 3, 4, 1 and 2. So the previous year question make us understand that the Southeast Asian region is important from prelims point of view. And due to this, the Sabang port becomes extremely important. With this, let us move on to the next article. There is a news article on page number 7 which reads, Bengal's Chau Masks acquires GI fame. The article further reads, 5 rural crafts from the state secure geographical indication protection. Now this article is in news because 5 rural crafts, namely the Chau Mask, the wooden mask of Kushmandi, the Pattachitra, the Dokras and the Madhur Kathi have been provided with the GI tag. Now this topic will fall under the preliminary examination syllabus under the topic Economic and Social Development. It will also form the part of History of India under the Art and Culture. So under this article, we will try to understand some basic facts related to these 5 arts using pictorial representation. Also, we will understand what is the importance of a geographical indication tag. And finally, we will try to answer the questions asked in the previous year preliminary examinations based on the geographical indication. These two questions were asked in the year 2015. The Chau Mask of Purulia. Now, Chau is a dance form, and large and colorful Chau masks are used in the Chau dance. It is famous in the Bagmandi block of Purulia district in West Bengal. In this picture, we can see the Chau mask used in Chau dance. These pictures will make it easy for you to remember the art forms. The second rural craft that has been provided with the geographical indication protection are the wooden mask of Kushmandi. It is also in West Bengal. These wooden masks are also known as Gomira, and these wooden masks are used for Mukha dance. As can be seen from the picture, the wooden masks are used for Mukha dance. The Pattachitra has also been provided with the geographical indication protection. The Pattachitra or Pattachitra is a general term for traditional cloth-based scroll painting. It is generally found in the eastern Indian states of West Bengal and Odisha. And the subject matter of Bengal Pattachitra is mostly mythological, religious stories, folklore, and social. As we can see in the picture, a Pattachitra is made for goddess Durga. The fourth rural craft is the Dokras of West Bengal. The Dokra metal craft is regarded as one of the most famous arts of West Bengal. It involves making statues, jewelries, idols, and many other decorative pieces with the help of clay, wax, and metal. The Dokra craft can be seen in the picture here. And the fifth rural craft that is provided with the geographical indication protection is the Madhur Kathi, and the craft is famous for its beautiful mats. One such example of that craft is given in the picture here. So the Chau masks are used in Chau dance in West Bengal. The wooden mask of Kushmandi is also known as Gomira. These wooden masks are used for Mukh dance. Third is the Pattachitra. The Pattachitra is a general term used for traditional cloth-based scroll painting. And the Dokras is a metal craft used for making statues, jewelries, idols, and other decorative pieces. Madhur Kati is a form of mat making. Now let us look at certain basic facts related to the geographical indication tags. The geographical indication tags are given by the Geographical Indication Registry and Intellectual Property in India. Secondly, the geographical indication tags are given on the basis of Geographical Indication of Goods, Registration and Protection Act 1999. The first product to be included in the list was Darjeeling tea. Now, what is the importance of these geographical indication tags? The first is that a geographical indication tag connects the quality and authenticity of a given product to a particular geographical origin. For example, the Darjeeling tea has a unique taste and is a unique product to the geographical region of Darjeeling. So this tag provides quality and authenticity of this product. Secondly, it ensures that no one other than the authorized user can use the popular product's name. For example, a tea grown in any other part of India cannot be tagged as Darjeeling tea. In the present case, the GI tag for these 5 rural crafts would help artisans create their own brand. Fourth, it would also provide legal protection to the artisans practicing the crafts against attempts to duplicate them in other regions. So the GI tag aims at avoiding the duplication of the product. Now let us try to answer the questions asked in previous year preliminary examination. In the year 2015, a similar question was asked about the Kalamkari painting. So the question reads, Kalamkari painting refers to a hand-painted cotton textile in South India. This option is correct. So a similar question can be asked in the preliminary examination based on the 5 arts that we have discussed. In the year 2015, again, another question was asked, which of the following has been or have been accorded the geographical indication status? So the questions based on geographical indication status are also important. The first option is the Banaras brocades and saris. It is correct. The Rajasthani dal bati churma. It is wrong. And third is the Tirupati laddu. So only Banaras brocades and saris and the Tirupati laddu were provided with the geographical indication tags. So the correct answer is C, 1 and 3 only. So a similar question can be asked on the 5 rural crafts that we have discussed. With this, let us move on to the next article. There is an editorial on page number 8 which reads, Green Push. The editorial further reads, the new biofuel policy is high on ambition, but success will depend upon the details. So now this editorial analyzes the benefits and challenges of the recently approved national policy on biofuels. This topic will fall under the General Studies paper 3 of the mains examination under the topic Conservation and Environmental Pollution. Also, it will fall under the Indian economy and issues relating to planning and mobilization of resources. Also, previously, 2 questions have been asked in the preliminary examination based on the biofuels in the year 2014 and in the year 2017. So under this article, we will try to understand the expected benefits of the national policy on biofuels and the challenges that need to be addressed. Also, we will try to answer the previous year preliminary examination questions. The Union Cabinet chaired by Prime Minister has approved a national policy on biofuels. It encourages the generation and use of biofuels such as ethanol. This policy will help farmers dispose of their surplus stock of agricultural products like rotten potatoes and broken rice. Also, the local generation of biofuels will help in reducing India's oil imports because currently India imports 80% of its oil requirements. So, the national policy on biofuels encourages generation and use of biofuels such as ethanol. It will help farmers dispose of the surplus stocks of agricultural products, and it will also help India reduce its oil imports. The expected benefits from the national policy on biofuels are that first, it will help in improving the supply side issues for biofuels. Now, presently, the biofuel is only being generated from the sugarcane waste. Now, this policy allows for a wider variety of inputs to produce ethanol. These include sugarcane, sugar beet, sugarcane juice, sugar containing materials like sugar beet, sweet sorghum, starch containing materials like corn, cassava, and damaged food grains like wheat, broken rice, rotten potatoes, which are generally unfit for human consumption, and these can be used for ethanol production. So, by allowing all these materials to be used for biofuel generation, the policy is expected to improve the supply side issues for the generation of biofuels. Secondly, due to the addition of all these materials, the policy will help in increasing the production of biofuels in the country. The third benefit is that the increased supply of biofuels will help in the reduction of cost of the fuels. It will also help in improving the affordability of fuel for the customers, especially when the oil prices are increasing every day in the present scenario. The policy will try to resolve two issues. The first issue was that the ethanol was available only from the sugarcane industries, and this ethanol was diverted to alcohol industry because the alcohol industry offered a favorable price. And due to this, the oil companies were not able to procure ethanol. This is because the alcohol industry was offering favorable prices. Now, with the increased production of biofuels due to the new policy, the cost of production of ethanol will come down and there will be a larger availability of ethanol in the market for the oil companies to procure ethanol for the production of biofuels. The fourth likely benefit of this policy is that it will help in curbing atmospheric pollution and will also help in the reduction of the greenhouse gases. This is because this policy will give incentive to farmers to not burn the agricultural waste. And as we all know that the burning of agricultural waste has become a huge source of pollution in the Delhi and the surrounding areas. And this leads to widespread smogs and fogs. The policy will also help in converting the municipal solid waste into biofuels. And finally, it will help in reducing the import dependency on crude oil. According to government estimate, an ethanol supply of 150 crore liters will help India in saving foreign exchange of around rupees 4,000 crores. So the expected benefits of the national biofuel policy are it will help in improving the supply side issues for biofuels. It will help in increasing the production of biofuels in the country. It will lead to a reduction in the cost and will also help in improving the affordability for the customers. It will also help in creating a cleaner environment. It will help in converting municipal solid waste into biofuels and will reduce India's import dependency on crude oil. The editorial further says that there are certain challenges that need to be addressed to make the policy successful. The first challenge is that the supply side chain of infrastructure which is required to deliver biofuels to the final customer remains inadequate and this needs to be strengthened. The supply side infrastructure includes biorefineries. Now, to address this issue, the new policy aims to invest around 5,000 crore rupees in building biorefineries and offering other incentives over the next few years. Further, the government should take steps to remove policy barriers which so far have discouraged private investment in building supply chains. So, presently, there is a lack of private investments, and the government should take steps to increase the private investments. Now, the question asked in preliminary examination in 2014 read consider the following statement. Maize can be used for production of starch. Second, oil extracted from maize can be a feedstock for biodiesel. And third, the alcoholic beverages can be produced by using maize. So in this case, all the three options are correct. Hence the correct answer is D, 1, 2 and 3. So this question was related to biodiesel as we can see here. The question asked in 2017 read, it is possible to produce algae based biofuels, but which is or are the likely limitations of developing countries in promoting this industry? First, the production of algae based biofuels is possible in seas only and not on continents. So this option is incorrect because biofuel production using algae is possible on continents as well. Second is the setting up and engineering the algae based biofuel production requires high level of expertise or technology until the construction is completed. So this option is correct because high expertise and technology is required for production of biofuels from algae. Third is economically viable production necessitates the setting up of large scale facilities which may raise ecological and social concerns. This option is also correct because now the setting up of large scale facilities will require large amount of land acquisition and will also lead to deforestation. Thus the option 3 is also correct. So the correct answer is B, 2 and 3. With this, let us move on to the next article. There is an article on page number 18 which reads Great Barrier Reef facing its toughest test ever. So the article is in news because Australia's Great Barrier Reef is under severe stress due to warmer and more acidic oceans due to global warming. Now the article further says that the reef is said to be very resilient to such stresses because it has returned from near extinction 5 times in the past 30,000 years. Resilient means it did not face extinction due to such stresses. However, in the present scenario, the stress is quite severe, and in the present condition, it can lead to permanent extinction and coral bleaching of the Great Barrier Reef. So, under this article, we'll try to understand why is the coral reef facing stresses and how are coral reefs affected by such stresses. Also, we'll try to understand the geography of the Great Barrier Reef from prelims point of view, because previously geographical locations from the world map have been asked in the previous years. For example, this question was asked in 2013, and we'll also try to answer this question. Now, why is the Great Barrier Reef facing stresses? First is, it is facing stresses because of abnormal environmental condition. For example, warmer sea temperatures. Now, in the recent times, the unusual warming of the oceans are taking place because of the climate change that is happening due to global warming. Also, it is occurring due to the natural events like El Nino. So, the Great Barrier Reef is facing stresses because of abnormal environmental conditions, for example, warmer sea temperatures. And in the recent times, the temperature has increased because of the man made climate change and the natural events like El Nino. Now, let us understand how are coral reefs affected by global warming. Now, due to global warming, coral bleaching starts. And this coral bleaching is said to occur when the algae, which lives in a symbiotic relation with the corals, starts dying. Symbiotic relation here means the association of algae and the corals is beneficial to both of them. Now, this symbiotic relation of algae and corals is important because the algae provides the corals with up to 90% of their energy requirements. And due to elimination of algae, the corals start to starve. Thus, the symbiotic relation of algae and corals is important for health of the whole coral reef. Thus, global warming is leading to coral bleaching and is disrupting the symbiotic relation between the algae and the corals. And this algae is important to corals because it provides most of the energy requirement of the corals. Now, let us have a look at the important facts about the Great Barrier Reef. First is that it is located in the northeastern part of the Australia in the Coral Sea in the Pacific Ocean. As we can see in the map, it is in the northeastern part of Australia. The pink line shows the Great Barrier Reef. The second important fact is that it is the biggest coral reef system in the world, and it is also listed in the UNESCO's World Heritage Site. So the geographical location is the northeastern part of Australia in the Coral Sea. It is the biggest coral reef system in the world, and it is also listed in the World Heritage Sites of the UNESCO. Now let us try to answer the question that was asked in 2013. Although the question was not directly related to the location of Great Barrier Reef, but this question is important because it has asked information related to the important geographical features of the world. So a question can be asked on the location of the Great Barrier Reef also. The question reads, which one of the following pairs is correctly matched? The geographical feature and the region. First is the Abyssinian Plateau and the region given is Arabia. The Abyssinian Plateau is in Ethiopia and lies in the northeastern part of Africa. So this option is wrong. Second is the Atlas Mountains and northwestern Africa, because the Atlas Mountains lies in the northwestern part of Africa. Third option is Guinea Highlands and southwestern Africa. This option is also wrong because Guinea Highlands are present in South America. And the last option is Okavango Basin and Patagonia. Now Patagonia is a desert in South America, while the Okavango Basin is in southern part of Africa. So this option is also wrong. So the correct answer is B. So you should try to find the locations of these geographical features in the world map. With this, we have come to the end of today's discussion. For more DNS videos, subscribe and press the bell icon. Now let us move on to the question for the day.